What are the benefits of reading books? Reading may be a difficult activity for many people. They would rather spend their time doing tasks and do not require as much mental effort. For example, I watched Game of Thrones with millions of other people, yet few are aware that the film was based on a novel, and even fewer have read the book. But how come? Why don't people read for a short period of time, instead of watching TV or scrolling through their phones? Hello everyone, welcome to Wealthy Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about the benefits of reading books. If you're new to the channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. A 2018 poll found that around 24% of adult Americans read no books at all in 2017. Regardless of how alarming this figure seems, let us first look at the benefits of reading before going on to the reasons why people don't read. The benefits of reading books. Reading has been critical to the human species' survival and existence, since it is how individuals communicate information and ideas. We've achieved significant advances in science, medicine, and engineering as a result of the cross-pollination of ideas derived from a wide variety of reading. In reality, things are easier now. Thanks to the advancement of the internet, we may now watch how-to videos instead of reading about a particular topic. Even though it seems acceptable and more accessible, we must not neglect the foundation upon which these commodities we enjoy were built. Reading is not the only way to learn. However, it remains critical. These are some of the benefits of reading. Reading may help you reduce stress. This is critical information for anyone who feels reading is stressful. Researchers performed a 2009 study on the effects of comedy, yoga, and reading on students' stress levels. The study discovered that similar to comedy and yoga, reading for 25 to 30 minutes lowered heart rate, blood pressure, and psychological distress. See what I mean? The act of reading is not stressful, but how you approach it is. As a consequence, your vocabulary will expand. Have you ever tried to find the right words to describe yourself? Reading may help you build a large vocabulary that you can use every day to express yourself. According to a 2019 Cengage poll, 69% of employers want to hire people who can effectively communicate. Nobody wants a worker who doesn't have the right things to say at the right time or doesn't make the right comments. Reading books is the most dependable way to get acquainted with changing words since new terms are always being added to the dictionary. Reading more is the simplest way to increase your exposure to new concepts. The majority of the new terms will not be introduced to you via humor or television. Writers, on average, use language more accurately than entertainers. Your mental health has improved and your mind is stimulated. Reading may help prevent age-related cognitive decline. Even though it has not yet been shown that reading can help battle conditions like Alzheimer's, research has shown that senior people who read will keep and even improve their memory, lowering the memory loss that is linked with age. The more you utilize your brain like a muscle, the healthier and stronger it grows. Puzzles and games stimulate the mind in the same way that reading does. They also give mental stimulation. According to the National Institute on Aging, reading books and magazines is another excellent way to keep your mind engaged as you age. You wouldn't want to be bored to death or let your mind become the devil's workshop, would you? As a consequence, there is more empathy. It is stated that people who read fiction novels about the lives of characters are more able to connect with and comprehend the thoughts and ideas of others. Reading may help you develop empathy, which is necessary if you wish to assist those who are in pain or in need. You cannot read about the genocide in Rwanda and not feel sorrow for the victims, nor can you read about wars and think that it's okay to handle problems in a terrible way. Reading has the ability to transform you. A growing body of research demonstrates that reading alters one's thoughts and viewpoints. Many people have altered the course of their lives after reading a book. Ben Carson's book, Gifted Hands, drastically changed my view on life and my way of thinking while I was in high school. I don't know how I would have managed without it. Reading helps to ease depression. Suicides and deaths from depression are on the increase, which is concerning. A depressed person who reads fiction may find solace in a world where they are valued and protected. And if done often enough, it may help children discover reasons why they can succeed in whatever conditions they face. It allows you to read other people's minds. Having just an opinion on an issue stymies any kind of serious advancement. In order to create something really unique, the pros and downsides of ideas from the past and present must be weighed. This has been critical to the many advances we have made in a number of areas today. No idea, no matter how brilliant, is ever wasted. You may want to encourage people to read now that you are aware of the advantages of doing so. Aside from the benefits previously discussed, encouraging children to read rather than play video games all day helps them learn discipline. Early discipline development will assist them in finding their place in life and will put them up for long-term success. So how can you establish a reading habit? Begin by doing the simple tasks indicated below. Change your mindset. Many individuals avoid reading because they believe it is unpleasant or difficult. However, the opposite is true. When you realize the benefit of reading books for learning and growth, you will discover that reading is not only enjoyable, but also a great way to reduce stress. But first, you must choose a subject that piques your interest. Read novels that interest you. A work of fiction or an uplifting nonfiction book with which you can relate, such as the Ben Carson book I once read, would be excellent places to begin. If reading a book seems overwhelming, start with articles, blog posts, and other shorter forms that interest you. It just takes one really exceptional piece of literature to make you fall in love with reading. Spend at least 30 minutes reading every day. In your busy schedule, make reading a priority. Developing the habit may take as little as 30 minutes per day of consistent practice over time. You can find yourself reading up to 3 books every month before you realize it. Bring a book with you everywhere you go, so you may spend the time usefully when waiting in line, in a taxi, or at the airport. Now that ebooks are available, you may transform your smartphone into a portable library and save time hauling your books around. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to talk about the benefits of reading books. Now, let's look at some of the most common reasons for not reading. There is a shortage of parental support among kids. My uncle was a literary professor, and his children grew up surrounded by Shakespeare, Hardy, and Hemingway. They had no other choices for entertainment until they discovered classic English literature, which drove them to fall in love with reading for the rest of their lives. The majority of individuals who do not read come from homes where their parents did not read or did not encourage them to do so. However, this doesn't have to be the case. Too preoccupied to read. Everyone is busy, so it stands to reason that this is the most common answer. You have a slew of responsibilities that need your attention, including your work, household chores, parenting responsibilities, and a million other things. Furthermore, each day is just 24 hours long for them. Reading may be time-consuming. Furthermore, some books are tens of thousands of pages long and takes months to finish. So what's the point? Reading may be challenging. Reading seems to be a difficult task for many people. They get annoyed when they see hundreds of pages loaded with difficult words, especially when the books are enormous adult novels with a dictionary-looking design. What's the point of having a movie? According to studies, after a film is released, books that have been adapted into films are less likely to get attention. Most people would rather watch Game of Thrones episodes than read the books. The second film seems to be simpler, more intriguing, and more enjoyable. Reading is useless. People often exploit the assumption that reading is a waste of time to justify not doing it. They believe that reading has no advantage for them. For these people, reading literature was only useful if it helped you pass exams, graduate from college, and obtain a job. Aside from that, they perceive little value in books. Inability to concentrate, it is generally known that people are easily sidetracked. When you consider how widespread smartphones and other modern technologies are, it's easy to understand why we have the attention span of a goldfish. Anyone who struggles to concentrate will find it difficult to fully participate in the reading experience. Because of the everyday stress and concern, your mind may stray. As a result, it makes sense to want to transition to other pursuits that do not need prolonged focus. To summarize, The knowledge we have gained through reading books is the basis for all the progress we have made so far. So it's logical to believe that if you want to gain a head start in life, you should learn to read. Make every effort to cultivate this habit, even if you lack a natural proclivity for it. The majority of the world's most successful businesses and leaders are avid readers. According to reports, Bill Gates reads up to 50 novels every year. Warren Buffett reads more than 500 pages of material and 5 newspapers per day. Mark Zuckerberg also reads a book every 2 weeks. So who knows? Reading might be the secret to joining the club of millionaires. We've reached the end of another video, and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned the benefits of reading books. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye.